We hear about it. But most of us have been privileged to have not seen it in full blast. But persecution is the trying, the proving of our faith. We may not experience that mass, disastrous physical struggle, but you will be tested for your faith. You will suffer for your faith in this life. James 1, verse 2 to verse 4. Turn there and look. James 1, verse 2 to verse 4 says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." For us to grow, we got to be persecuted. We have to suffer some. Our faith grows under pressure. Faith does not grow in comfort zone. Faith grows under pressure. Because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. You know this. You're aware of this reality. Your faith develops under pressure. Perseverance to continue. He that endures to the end, the same shall be saved. This perseverance that is necessary for your faith comes under pressure. So, though it sounds like it was a sad addition to the bliss that should happen, in reality, it's also one of the blessings. For God intends that we grow. That we grow. Because as our Father, He will not have it that we mature over years, maturity of time, and immaturity in character. We grow in years on our belt. Say, I've been a Christian for 50 years, but the maturity level of a character is that of a 5-year-old. God said, no, I'm going to make sure you grow. Because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. That you may grow up. If you're going to grow up, you got to be perseverant. And if you're going to be perseverant, it has to come through trials. And so we find our blessing in struggles. For our most valuable lessons are learned under pressure. Our blissful nuggets, we get those in good times, but our lessons are under pressure. You don't learn much when you're not challenged. You don't grow much when you're not pushed. You don't grow when you're not challenged. And so God's intention is that we grow up. We move from milk to meat. We grow up from the simple things to the mature things. And if we're going to, we have to go through some experiences. 1 Peter 1, verse 6 and 7. If you go there with me, 1 Peter 1, verse 6 and verse 7 says, "In this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials. These have come so that your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes even though refined by fire, may be proved genuine and may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. Peter said, hey, listen, I know you know it's tough, but you got to understand. Listen, look at what you're dealing with. You should, in this you should greatly rejoice for the suffering that you're enduring. It's good for you, so that your faith may be proved genuine and may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. Proving of your faith, man. The gold is refined in the fire. The gold still eventually fades, but your faith won't. It will endure, and will only endure through suffering. Maturity comes through struggle. No one becomes an adult without responsibility, and no responsibility that's not challenging produces growth. If I'm going to be responsible, my responsibilities that are given to me, handed down to me, that are assigned to me by my parents, assigned to me by those in school that teach me, they have to challenge me, or else I won't grow up. I won't learn nothing new. I won't discover any new strength, any new talent, any new ability. I'll only remain in the same. And to remain the same for 10 years is not good. To think the same for 10 years is not good. And you won't be challenged to think differently unless you are faced with different circumstances that requires you now to take a different approach than you've taken in the past. And you discover that new approach to be the effective one because you seek God out for it. And God shows you how. Paul and Silas would not know how to survive this kind of thing if they hadn't faced it. And so in the midst of a trying time, they decided to lift their voice on a way that God had intended deliverance to come to this jailer all along. But the persecution produced this confidence. So by the time it came around now, later on for Paul now to suffer, when it was prophesied to Paul, it was the prophet came down from Jerusalem and make it clear to Paul, listen, the man's whose girdle this is, the way I have it myself tied up, will also be tied up. And everyone, the Bible said, began to ask Paul, please don't go, stay here, don't go, Paul, don't go. Paul said, listen, stop it, before you make my heart fail me. I am not just ready to be bound, but I'm ready to die for Jesus. After years of suffering for the gospel's sake, Paul arrived at a place of, I am not afraid. And so when he wrote to the Romans, he could write with such authority, I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ, for it's the power of God unto salvation. There is this assurance that God is God. And I've been aware of this because I've been through some things. I found out for myself that He is the Lord. My sufferings brought about this reality. The bliss did testify to His provision, but the suffering testified to His power. For He is able to keep me from falling.